Hello, Dr. Tawana Worlds by birth, also known as a disruptor. Did you know that millions who grow up in poverty also die in poverty? Have you ever heard the saying, what good can come out of the hood? Well, I'm here to disrupt for just a minute. Yes, I was that little girl that grew up in the hood, grew up in the ghetto, single mother, absent father, eating out of the trash can just to survive. But I was also that girl that determined way back then that I was not going to become a product of my past. And now I help others do the same thing. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I help men and women from similar backgrounds find value in their own vault and create wealth from within. Hello, and hello again. I just want to show y'all real quick over here on YouTube and Facebook how I use everyday situations, circumstances to create content on TikTok that actually pays me, So I'm just going to let y'all into my world over here on TikTok. And this applies to whether you on YouTube, whether you on Facebook. I only share this to certain destinations on YouTube. But I want to know. I want to hear from the people. Can or should Christians be voting Democrat? That's the topic of discussion for tonight. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started over here. Greet my audience over here. And then we're going to get started. And I'm going to show you at the end what was the outcome. All right. So we are getting loaded up over here. We're going to have a conversation that is very much so needed to be had. Let me go ahead and share this out with a few folks. And then we'll get started. All right, hold on 1 second. Hey, what's going on, TikTok? What's going on, friends? What's going on, family? I'm sharing as you come in. I'm asking that you share. We're going to have a common sense conversation on tonight. I've been looking for you to go live. I'm here. What's going on, family? Let me just share this out to a couple of people. Topic on tonight is, can Christians, believers, or should Christians or believers be voting Democratic? And we're going to have a respectful conversation. If you love my channel, thank you. I love your support. Shout out to all of y'all. We're going to have a respectful conversation, okay? Also, I'm going to say I will bring a few of you guys up to the panel as long as you keep it respectful. I would love to know your thoughts. I would love to know, your input on the topic at hand on today. I'm going to also share a couple of things. While I believe that we as believers, they're going against the word of God, period. Okay, and we're going to talk about it. We also going to talk about this record. I see them peddling for my people, and it really, really, really gets under my skin, because at the end of the day, we don't need them. And the purpose of this live on tonight is just to bring education and awareness. At the end of the day, you're going to vote for who you want to. And I'm going to vote for who I want to. but I am going to do my due diligence to educate, to empower, to impact as much and as many as I can before the election day. That way, when you go to the polls, you are very well informed and you're not just out here doing something based off of what the mainstream media is feeding you, okay? Tidbits. But I want to know from you all on tonight, even over here, because I'm streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So if you see me panning to the left, I'm talking to my audience over there. This is a conversation that must be had, because there ain't no way in the world that you can say, number one, that you believe in God, that you are saved, and that you are voting everything anti-God. There's just no way in the world. So if y'all don't mind going crazy on the hearts, let's get them up to 1K before we get started. That just helps me beat the machine called the algorithm, helps me get into the For You page. And hopefully we will attract, or we will find people that's maybe indecisive or that's maybe struggling. They really don't know about politics. I know that I didn't know much about politics. I am becoming more informed about politics. This time around, the last time that I voted very ignorantly. Okay. I still repent to this day for voting for Barack Obama, and it pisses me off that you have a lot of celebrities, you have a lot of clergy, you have a lot of athletes, radio talk show hosts, all pandering to the melanated folks. And I want to say this statement, okay? If my Black brothers and sisters, whether you choose to say you're not my sister because you voting, for the red wave, I don't care. You're still my brother and my sister because you're the creation of God. But I want you to know just how important you are. If you were not important, and you were always, y'all keep smashing the likes. If you were not important and you were just, nothing, they wouldn't be pandering this hard for you. Straight up. Okay? Yeah, I say go Kamala too, Angie Smith. I say go Kamala for prison. We can agree to disagree. You say go Kamala for president. I say go Kamala for prison. Okay? But we can still be cordial and respectful with one another. The topic of tonight is, can you be a believer? Can you be a Christian? Can you be a kingdom ambassador from heaven and vote everything anti-God? And I've sat in some rooms and I hear people make all kind of excuses. Well, I would rather vote for somebody who's not a rapist. And I would rather vote for somebody who's not a racist. And I would rather vote for somebody who doesn't want to grab women by the crotch. I would rather vote for somebody other than that person, right? So you would rather vote for somebody who has the same characteristics of people in times past that God used before. He has a history of using messed up people. If you read that good old book, Moses was messed up. Okay. Noah was messed up. David was messed up. Samson was messed up. Okay. If you would vote for a broomstick, then vote for a broomstick. Okay. You don't even have to vote for Trump. That's not my argument. I'm not here to tell you who you cannot vote for. You are a grown adult. You can vote for whoever you want to. I said If you profess to be a Christian, if you profess to be a believer, if you profess to be a kingdom ambassador, ain't no way in Hades, on the earth, or in heaven that you can vote everything anti-God. That's what the conversation is about tonight. You go ahead and vote whoever you want to. Just like I'm voting for whoever I want to. I don't care what you say. I already know who I'm voting for. I said, can you be a believer? Because most people don't believe that this is a spiritual battle between good and evil. Cyrus was a very brute man. Cyrus was very brute, hard to deal with, rash at the mouth. Okay? But God used him to save a nation. That's for sure. Anybody that God used ain't gonna be perfect. If you're looking for the perfect person, then you yourself is already deceived. There is no perfect people. Okay? However, God didn't tell us to judge a man by his words, because we all say some dumb stuff that we're going to give an account for. Okay? But he did say judge them by their fruit. That's what he did say. Judge them by their fruit. Either you're going to produce good fruit or you're going to produce bad fruit. But a good tree cannot produce bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot produce good fruit. So we're going to look at fruits. Okay? Fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, meekness, gentleness, self-control. That's the fruit of the Spirit, right? It's everything that edifies. It's long-suffering. It's, it's patient. It's and Trump don't meet all of those qualifications. I respect his realness, but he a human being. But one thing that he don't want is to go against God's morals. Fruit like was easier before Biden, right? What he don't want is somebody who has morals that are outside of his morals. David was a freak, couldn't control his pen, and killed a whole man behind his wife. He had covetousness, he had murder, okay? He had all of these things going on. Folks like, I can vote for a convicted felon. Well, Moses killed some, Egyptians, and God still used him. But one thing's for sure and two things for certain. You can't tell me that you believe in God and you serve God and you worship God and you are for the advocating of unaliving nations. People don't look at it when they unaliving babies, that all the nations that's in their loins, all of the generations that's in the female's eggs, and all of the generations that's in the male's scrotum. You ain't just unaliving a baby. You're unaliving nations. And you're going to give a good old dang on account for that. That's for sure. I don't care if you perform the act or not. What you come into agreement with, you are. If you plug yourself into a light socket, you are powered by that light socket source. You can't tell me that you believe in God, worship God, know God, serve God, and you are in agreement with altering the very way that God created humanity, male and female. He created both male and female. He created them. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that God made only two sexes from the alphabet, F and M. Now we got LBGTQI plus AHZON, all of the alphabets. And you cannot tell me that you believe in God, serve God, and you in agreement with that. When the book says all sins are done outside of the body, but the sin of sexual immorality is done against the body because you didn't make your body. Now, I really want to touch on this topic because you got a whole bunch of folks. Them Democrats didn't clear the room, baby. They didn't clear it. This is a message for everybody who get on here and do lives and try to educate. When you speak the word of God, the devil will flee. Okay? You ain't got to be going back and forth with nobody. You really don't. Just speak the truth. That's it. There ain't no way in the world. That's right. They hate that light. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Make sure y'all following me. Make sure you liking my page so that you are notified when I go live. Not to like me because I'm somebody to be like. I am your sister. If you ever get in trouble, you ever need some spiritual reinforcement, you can call on your girl over here, okay? And we will go to war in the spirit and in the natural. That's one thing that I will say. So make sure you're following me. Make sure you like. Make sure you tapped in, however that be, okay? Now, I had to sit back and think about this. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. They're advocating for women's rights, right? But women's rights did not matter in 2020. Women's rights didn't matter when they said you're going to either take this or lose your job. Why women's rights didn't matter then? You know how many nurses lost their job because they refused to put something in their body they had no knowledge of? What happened to women's rights? So if women's rights are going to be a thing that this party campaigns on, then that means y'all need to go back retro and get all of them women who y'all let off, cut off, fired, let go of. Get all of them women and bring them back. Because that's a woman's right, right? It was a woman's right to say, no, I'm not putting that in me, and I don't want that. These people have a double standard, and it's absolutely sickening to see anybody vote for them. Anybody. Just because of there is nothing good that they have done for anybody. I don't care if you don't like Trump. Don't vote at all. You voting for Kamala because she black and she promising lies. And then got that old serpent, slew-footed, smooth-talking devil called Barack Hussein Lucifer Obama, okay? Out here campaigning for her, talking about we ain't black and we ain't turned out. No, we ain't turned out for her like we turned out for you because we was duped. You didn't care about black people. You cared about LGBT. That's what you cared about. That's what you invested all your time. When Oscar up in Oakland passed away, you wouldn't even say nothing. You wouldn't even call a spade a spade. You wouldn't even help his family, man. Get out of here. We're not voting for no Kamala. You thought that you was going to get this woman to come out here talking about as clean as she been. She ain't clean. And she ain't sober. You running around here asking Donald Trump to distribute his health records. But I'll say this. We will demand that Donald Trump display and openly publish his health records when you go do a drug and alcohol test. Period. When you go take an alcohol test and publish that information and a drug test, then we will demand Donald Trump to give himself or to publish his health records. Until then, he ain't publishing anything. The reason why they so mesmerized, Sister Letitia, is because they work in witchcraft. The psychological warfare, all that smooth talking. The serpent smooth talk Eve right out of her position. Right out of the garden. God gave her everything she ever needed. What's going on? Just trying to live. He had a double fork pitched tongue, okay? Same thing with Obama. Smooth talker. deceiver. And because minority folks now notice they not out here pandering to the Caucasian folks. They not out here pandering to the Indians. They not out here pandering to the Japanese. They're not out here pandering to the Native Americans. They are pandering to the Black people. Why? Why? We're the minority in the country. But you think you're going to slick talk and come on in here, come on, brother, and come on, y'all, sisters. We got to put another sister. That's not a sister. You know how many brothers she done locked up? We ain't going for that. We can bypass how many she done locked up. You know how many young brothers, the future is now in the grave because of her border problem, that she won't fix? That she can fix right now. If this woman wanted to be president, that's been debunked. That ain't been debunked. I'm from California. Nice try. That ain't been debunked. Okay? At all. I'm born and raised in California. I done lived under her regime. Well, if it have, okay? That's to you. Ain't nobody here to argue with you because y'all mind warped. Ain't nobody misinformed. I know facts. You misinformed. You full of Joy Reid, MSNBC. You don't know Kamala. You ain't lived in California. You don't know her policies, okay? You don't know anything about the border because you ain't been there. So how you going to tell me it's been debunked? Why? Because Dana Dash said it was debunked? Because Joy Reid said it was debunked? Because Whoopi Goldberg said it was debunked? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Period. Move around, okay? This ain't the lie for you. Especially if you call yourself a Christian. I'm finna cook today. If you call yourself a Christian, Google is free. I advise you to read it. And when you're reading Google, go read the White House, okay? Go put your boots on the ground in California and ask them people. Don't just read. Get out there and do something. I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to get off of TikTok being a troll, okay? I challenge you to get off of TikTok being misinformed, uneducated. You sound like a mockingbird, okay? Coming over here talking about that's been debunked. How do you know? Tell me how you know. Tell me, please. How do you know? Appreciate you. I want to know how you know, sis. Straight up. How you know it's been debunked? I'm waiting for your sources. Don't tell me the media. All my family live in California. I have a dead child because of California scamala, okay, policies. Don't tell me nothing about nothing being debunked. Period. I'm not even finna go back and forth with you. The borders is wide open. Now debunk that. The people that she done locked up for joints, I can bring it to modern day. Look at Blueface, baby. He got caught with something that wasn't even THC in a prison cell and got 5 years. Out of here. You got men out there locked up for weed and it's legal. In California, it's legal. You gonna tell me? I said no. I'm not giving my son no medication so he can go to school. And they forced me to. You think that was a game when they forced a woman to send her kids to school? Okay? Trump said Mexico was going to be. Let me listen. You's a clown and you need to go to the circus. That's why I'm finna put you out right here, okay? Go find you somebody else. I don't know how much EBT they didn't pay you, but it ain't here. I don't know. I don't know how much EBT they didn't pay you, but look, let them pay you $7 over there. It ain't over here. Okay? You can't argue with a cactus or a brick wall. You got it. Bow out gracefully. Go to cell block D. You're not even welcome back over here on my live, okay? Trump said Mexico was going to build a wall. Well, why was he building it? And why the hell they sell the rest of the products when he got out of office to whoever else? I mean, this just doesn't make sense. And then they want to come in here and argue. No, we're not arguing. We ain't doing that. We're speaking facts over here, period. And then when he was building it, y'all called him racist then. Appreciate it. Oh, he's racist. He wants to keep illegal immigrants out of the country. Oh, he's keeping children in the cages, same cages Hussein Obama created and built. Get out of here. Everything is Trump's fault. I've never seen a scapegoat worse than Donald Trump. The border is his fault. Okay? Live visibility restricted. Recommendations restricted in search because your live does not comply with the For You. Listen, let me go ahead. Y'all devils can report my, and see how they come over here? They want to go ahead and report my live. I don't care. Nothing that I said in here is against any of their community standards. And guess what I'm finna do? Dispute each and every one of them and win them like I always do. When you demons show up over here, I'm going to speak the truth. And you know what? TikTok ain't going to shut me up. I'll stand on the corner with a bullhorn. You're going to get this work. And ain't nobody mad but the devil. Period. My live don't contain nothing in here that you didn't try to go report it as. I don't care about none of that. They sit over here like straight up demons reporting people's lives. TikTok, you better go ahead and check with your algorithm. I don't care. And matter of fact, could y'all just go ahead and share this out? Because then they're going to say your live visibility has been restricted because they want to go post and report that I'm selling content and goods. What content and goods am I selling? That don't make no sense. You demons is crazy. But y'all about to see God show up and show out. Hold on one second, y'all, because I got to go over here. Let me see what they're saying. Hold on one second. I'm finna appeal this. They think they slick. How you get mad because I say should Christians vote? And I mean that because you got Christians saying that they're going to vote. I'm back over there, back over here. Yeah, hold on, because they didn't try to come over here. That's what they do. They do this well. Okay, hold on one second while I situate this right here. No, yeah, here we go. Right here, found it. They say hate speech and hateful behaviors. Talking about Christ? No. No. If you believe your live access, you may submit an appeal with counsel. Yeah, I'm gonna submit a appeal. Sure is. And I don't need no tutorial. I can't stand TikTok and none of these other platforms. This is the reason why we need to be concerned about what type of stuff and control methods they are using. If you can't get up here and say that if you are anti-God, that you shouldn't be voting, if you call yourself a Christian, if you get up here and mention anything about a demon or you mention anything about God, they will take you down. They will shut your live down. They will restrict you. They will shadow ban you. They will suppress your information. Crazy. But I'm the woman for the job. Period, point blank. I'm going to talk about God. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, just like they get on here and talk about what they want to talk about. Period, point blank. Crazy. And then they'll send people. What's today's date? The 14th? Hold on. I want you. And then we have to go through this and they be like, oh, okay, appeal resulted in the restoral of your video or whatever the case may be. No, man. Hate speech and hateful behaviors. What? Bye. All right. Anyway, okay, while we waiting on that, you cannot be out here talking about you serve God. I don't care Facebook, YouTube. I don't care about none of these platforms. If they can get up here and rally for you to go and unalive your children, for you to go and transform your children, transition your children, for them to have open borders where your national security is, I'm not even going to say at risk. It's beyond at risk. You don't know who living next to you. You got the FBI telling people that we are prone to be attacked from within. Whose fault is that? How can we defend ourselves? Inflation is through the roof. We can't afford groceries. And then you want to come for our Second Amendment rights, the right to protect and defend ourselves and our families from invasion, from hurt, from harm. Now you want to come after all of these things. You want to come after our children. If our children are going through a phase, or our children is having, being peer pressured about what's going on around them, and then they hear what we saying at the house, but they have a war going on in the inside of their mind because they don't know whether they should do the right thing that's cool or whether they should do the thing that the parents told them to do, right? And they have a phase or a stage. Maybe I should. Maybe I do like him. Maybe I do like her. They got a phase, and they go to school and tell, well, you know what? My parents are believers, and I'm thinking that maybe I like this or like that. And you tell them, no, that ain't how we ain't getting down like that. And they go to school and they say, well, this is how I feel, and my parents don't support. That they could remove your child from the home. Give your child blockers and surgery without your say so. Remove your child from your home as if you're a bad parent. This is what we will vote for? All in the name of what? She gonna give us $50,000 startup. You don't even own a business. So how is that gonna benefit you? It's not. At all. Well, she gonna give us $150,000 to buy a new home. If your grandparents or your mama or somebody in your lineage owned a home, that doesn't apply to you in this country. But if a migrant who come from another country and they mama and they grandmama's own home in they land, they can still get approved. Make this make sense? They promising you all this stuff that they ain't gonna have enough to pay for because they giving it away. They only promising it for your vote. And folks is gonna mess around and vote against God. I'm not saying Donald Trump is God. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I said vote against God, meaning you vote against his morals. He said, I created male and female. That's what one candidate is promoting. Even for him to bend and break and compromise and say, well, I believe that you can unalive your baby in these instances. First of all, children are a heritage from God. I don't believe that no niece should be carrying no uncle's baby. But you know where that started? In the family. You know your brother, mama, is a you know what he is, a file, a vert. You know what he is. All the family know what he is. Stop letting him drink and do what he's doing. You know your man is a vert, a file. Okay? That starts in the house. Let's stop sweeping stuff outside of the rug. You know he ain't got no business watching your kids anyway. Period, point blank. But children are a heritage from God. However, well, if PDF, thank you, Albert Thomas, PDF file, period, they're going to worry. You know, you have to use acronyms and all of this stuff so you don't get shut down. This junk is crazy. We as believers better open up our eyes, and I'm going to let y'all go because I wasn't going to hold y'all here long at all. I am sickened by the support from the Christians, quote unquote. Now I can understand the sororities and the fraternities, they worship other gods anyways. But you cannot be a born again believer and then go vote against God. That's going to be a problem. And it's a dangerous thing to fall into the hands of an angry God. You can't vote against God and not have read what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah and other cities in times past. Behind their perversions, behind their atrocities, behind their blatant rebellion, behind trying to modify genetics, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the last days. What was going on in the days of Noah? The sons of God and the daughters of men were creating hybrids. What was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah? Hold on one second. Somebody's at my door. I hear it. I hear it. I'll be off in 5 minutes. Okay, so you can the things that were happening back then in Sodom and Gomorrah. A lot of people, when they read that story, they think that God destroyed that city because the male on male and female on female. But that's not the case. You go back and you read that text. The reason why he destroyed that city because they had gotten so greedy and so diverted and put a P on it, okay? That they forgot to do charitable deeds to the people inside of Sodom and Gomorrah that were suffering. Go read it. That's the reason why he put the hammer down. All these people are suffering. Y'all getting greedy. Y'all doing these abominable acts. And now my people over here crying out because y'all not having hospitality. That's why he got at them the way that he got at them. The hospitality, the taking care of what I commanded you to do. Take care of the widow, the orphan, the poor. Take care of the destitute with your resources. So it was not about male on male and female on female. It was about hospitality. Go read it. You have forgotten. Charging high prices and then people struggling and suffering, you know what I'm saying, to meet the need of their family basic necessities. Same thing similar to what's happening right now. You cannot be a believer and vote against God. It's too detrimental. And I am more afraid of the people that will go and put their signature and their allegiance and their agreement to that. Because then that becomes very dangerous. We all have free will. We can vote whoever we want to. But when you vote against God, wait a minute, hold on. You against everything that I'm against. I mean, half of the 10 Commandments is broken just with the policies alone. I'm going to take money from big corporations. That's called theft. Thou shalt not steal. Then the sad part about it is the minority folks don't even see you already the minority. You're not the majority over here. So if they stop you from making children, they give the men vasectomies and give you AB abortions. Then later on down, there won't be no future. They'll be all gone. And the most craziest part about it is the people that they got campaigning for them, Oprah Winfrey and all of that stuff, uses the foreskin of aborted fetal cells to put makeup on her face. That's by her own confession. Go look it up on Google. Steve Harvey had to try some of it on his hands. I don't know if y'all remember that. And the lady said, yeah, this is made from, aborted fetal cells. This is what Oprah puts on her face. It's a big industry, money making industry in the abortion industry. For one, they put that stuff in all kinds of stuff. And I don't want to sicken you out, but they put that stuff in all kinds of stuff, including food, not just makeup. And put it in regular drinks that we drink every day. You think that it's just, oh, no, it's bigger than that. That's why you never leave home with your baby to go bury it or whatever. No, they take it and dispose of it and do as they wilt with it. That is a sacrifice. That is a sacrifice. And if you ain't making sacrifices to the Almighty God, you already in trouble. So I just wanted to bring up that matter on today because I see too many in the Christian faith. Come on, y'all. I mean, a whole flyer, clergy for Kamala. It's like, y'all are the most watered down, jelly back, chicken in your blood. I can't even believe it. I would rather not vote. Okay, if it's two of the lesser evils, cool. I would rather not vote. God, may your will be done in this election. But I'm not putting my signature to anything that's anti-God. I will openly deal with somebody who y'all deem as a racist, who I know that they're not. One thing about us as melanated folks, we know who racist and who not. We didn't allow these people to tell us and take sound bites and clippings to say this man is racist, and it helped more black people than Kamala Harris herself. It's crazy. You can't tell us you care for us. At least I know that you protect our children. Them borders wouldn't be wide open like that. You protect our children. At least I know you a businessman. You know how to run business. So you'd have this economy in a decent enough shape so we can actually not only just get by, but we can actually be in a position. You think about it. So many people had so much money under this man's presidency. We had a reset, a restart. It wasn't just stimulus, man. Everybody had PPPs, EDDs, except me. But I was out here making them, doing the work for people to be able to get them, as long as they had a business. So I didn't need to. I don't take advantage of opportunities that I don't necessarily need at the moment. If I needed it, then I probably would have. But I was too busy serving others to make sure they got what they needed. When I say everybody and their mama was getting in bad boys. Not to mention the thousands from back pay with the EDD. The stimulus wasn't nothing but $1,200. The real money came with the PPPs and the EIDL loans and the EDD. That came with that. Everybody and their mama had money. It was unbelievable, from young people to the elder people. And a lot of them started businesses. A lot of them started businesses. So then when they couldn't get the money back into the economy because people had took that money and started businesses and things of that sort, then they start saying, wait a minute, we don't know how this money is being moved. Any transactions over $600 now need to be reported. Y'all could have been took money from the billionaires if that's what y'all was going to do. But even that is stealing. Because now that I run in spaces where wealthy people, millionaires, billionaires, they work for their money. Ain't nothing given to them. If they got 1,000 no's, they got that one yes that changed their life. They're networking, they're connecting with people, and that's how they grow. They're getting information, and that's how they scale it. It's the people that ain't got no money out here scamming. trying to come up with all kind of scam. Let's go get this payday loan. You know that new scam, that new hack on Cash App. You can get $2,500 out. Them the folks out here scamming. But if you do want to tax the rich, why don't you start with Obama? They have $1 million properties, 3, 1 in Hawaii, 2 in the United States. How about Oprah? They got enough money to give you whatever money you're trying to take from big businesses. There is no way that we can vote as believers for anything anti-God. Anybody got anything they want to say before I go? What are your thoughts on that? I hear some Christians be like, well, yeah, I don't agree with everything that about her policies or everything that she says, but she's better than Donald Trump. So you vote in personalities over policy. She has no policy that will benefit you. But you vote in personality because you don't like Trump. If you don't like Trump, don't vote for him. Don't vote for neither. You ought to know that you're powerful enough to withhold your vote altogether. Because if you wasn't powerful, they wouldn't be pandering to you. If your say-so didn't matter, they wouldn't be pandering to you. Let that sink in. Nobody got anything to say, anything to add, anything to implement. If you gonna vote wrongly, you better be ready to give an account. I would rather not vote at all. And because I'm from California and relocated a couple of times, just got back to a particular area. Now I got to make sure that, when I first voted in 2008, they always had me registered as a Democrat from doing that dumb stuff. Now I got to make sure I'm registered as a Republican and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for the sake of the people in this nation, this is not about whether I want to vote or I can care less about politics. They all play games. But I'm seeing something consistent. And it ain't just Black people. It's Caucasian people. It's Hispanic people. They is suffering a lot financially. The stories that I hear, you would be like, what? They're like, yeah, we got to move out of our place and move back in with our parents. I just want to be able to afford food again. It's sad. I feel like a lot of people are deceived in our more culture over kingdom. I feel like a lot of us, because we have not really took the time to know our history and learn our identity. I was pissed off when Kamala Harris got up there today and said, happy Indigenous People Day. And talked about what happened, the atrocities that happened to the Indian, not knowing that we Indian. I'm straight up mixed with Indian. Most African Americans are indigenous. I can't say the word, okay? Indigenous. I never vote because we still gonna get scammed out of money and have laws forced upon us. I vote for me. And I vote for my family, and I just let the Lord's will be done. That's what I do. But if your policies is going to benefit my family, then yeah. If your policies is going to hurt my family, then absolutely not. But I don't play politics because I know at the end of the day, where I had an eye opener was when Donald Trump won and Hillary Clinton was campaigning like she was crazy against him. And then, the night that he won, he was like, yeah, I called Hillary. I'm like, y'all was acting like y'all was enemies on the campaign trail. Why would you call her? I called her to thank her for a good race. Yeah, she's really a cool person, to be honest. It's like, oh, okay. And then during the 2020 pandemic, I noticed that all of them was mighty fine. They didn't have to stop. They didn't have to stop working, showing up for work, none of it. They was able to travel freely. They was able to put on this if they wanted to or not, take this if they wanted to or not. It wasn't forced. I'm like, yeah, this is politics. I don't play politics. But I do see that one side wants to be more damaging than the other. And that's a problem for me. Because I love people. I don't just love myself, I love people. Okay? Turning these lights off because I'm finna jump off of here. But I love people. I love God's people. As I'm commanded to do so. And I see a lot of people suffering. So I would rather say, if you are a believer, I would suggest you not vote and don't even participate. Then vote wrong. And you have to live with the consequences of that. When I tell y'all that I still repent for voting for Barack Obama, I really do. I still repent. It's not that I don't believe that I'm forgiven. I do. I don't live in a state of condemnation. But I'm like, wow, I could never do something like that again. Because I tell you, the night that man won the election, it was like whatever scales was on my eyes. And I didn't know nothing about him. I didn't follow him on the campaign. I didn't even know because I don't do politics. I didn't even know there was no black man running. Then people came to my door and was like, tonight's the president election and we got the first black president running for presidency. Have you voted? And I'm like, no. Oh, well, I can just show you. It's right across the street. There's a voting booth right over there at the school. You can go right over there. These are good candidates in the Democratic Party. This person over here is a Republican. I'm like, how do you even vote? Just go down and check all these boxes, right? They coaching me on what to do. I went over there and did that. Then I came on back. We watched to make sure, because that's when you can find out on election day who won. And I saw that he won. And then the first thing that God highlighted to me, because people was all over the TV crying and falling out and carrying on, lighting up lighters, lighting up lights. But when they got into the church houses and they was crying like he was God, they came and rescued. It was like everything just came off my eyes. And I was just dumbfounded. I was so sick. I was like, what did I just do? What did I just do? I cried out to God. I was like, Lord. And from that moment on, it's like when I look in his eyes, I can look in his soul. I couldn't hear none of his speeches. I just was not led to listen to any of his speeches, none of them. And I never understood. When he opened up his mouth, I can see blackness in his mouth. And I did not want to listen to his speeches. I didn't want to look into his eyes. It was a lot of spiritual enlightenment into who he was. And then when he started implementing them policies, I'm like, Lord, I voted for this, and I never will vote again. I never will vote again. Please forgive me. That's why I will not vote on skin color. You can be voting for Lucifer himself. I'm not finna do that at all. I'm not finna do that at all ever again. If I gotta sit back and sit out, I've been doing it since 2008. Y'all gonna go ahead and pick who y'all want to anyway. So listen, let me stay out. But this time right here, this one is something totally different. It's different than any other election because clearly I can see this as a battle between good and evil. And I'm on the Lord's side. I hope you are too, if you are a professing believer. Okay. I love y'all. I'll see y'all the next time. I already came by here and did my work. I wanted to have a kingdom conversation, a common sense conversation. We cannot say that we are part of God's kingdom, sovereign, holy, righteous kingdom, and then vote for demonic behaviors and policies that are everything antichrist. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So if anything looks like that, we need to be going in the opposite direction. We are the light. And God sent his only begotten Son that we may have life and have life more abundantly. If anything is counterintuitive to that, it is not godly. Okay? I love y'all, and I will see y'all on the next time. God bless.